Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the first item.
Our recognitions for October, we have with us this evening 4 students that we would like to recognize for some outstanding accomplishments. First of all, we have Hunter Foster and Austin Herring as National Merit semifinalists. We have Travis Kohler here this evening under the National Skills America Award recipient, and Corey Samsel, our Daniel Boone Outstanding Young Woman contestant. We're going to take a little bit more time to recognize them. I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Trainer for some background detail on each of those recipients. Mrs. Trainer.
Okay, thank you. The first 2 individuals I'd like to ask to come up to the front are Hunter Foster and Austin Herring. And for those of you who are here, just to give you a little sense of the accomplishments of this young man, and also what does it mean to be a National Merit semifinalist. About 1.5 million students take the PSAT/National Merit qualifying test each year. And based on that, about 50,000 students qualify for some sort of recognition. So you have to start with the 50,000. In September, they figure that 2/3 of that group are called commended students, about 34,000, and they receive a letter of commendation. Austin is in the other third, or approximately 16,000, who are then able to move forward into being called semifinalists. So we start with 1.5 million, now we're down to the 16,000. And what they try to do is spread that out over the 50 United States, so there's representation in all the different states. And I'm assuming that he's working on proving his worth with, he has to show indication of high academic standards and his grades and other things that he sends now with the packet. And in February, they will identify about 8,200 students that will then qualify for different levels of scholarships out of the initial group. So we wish you well as the process continues. We'll bring him back if he keeps getting in that winning pool as it happens. But both Austin and Hunter are certainly recognizable for this particular honor from the high school from this year, and so we wanted to make sure they got that due representation. So congratulations, and they have a certificate.
Congratulations, Austin. That's great.
Congratulations, continued success.
Thank you.
Okay, and Travis Kohler in the back. Come on up, Travis. For those of you either in the audience or at the board, if you happen to read the second section of the Reading Eagle Times on October 9th, Travis was featured in a picture, and I'm going to pass it around in a minute so that you can see the individuals from BCTC that actually allowed him to do some traveling this past summer. And I'll give you sort of a little bit of the overview and then turn it over and ask Travis if he just tells you a little bit about what he did. But BCTC in this article was being reported on for recognizing 31 students that competed in state or national competitions over the summer, and Travis was one of those that went to Kansas City and competed in a National Skills USA tournament and took first. And so I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about what he did, and I'm also going to then pass this around so everybody can see. Travis is in the back row there on the right-hand side. So Travis, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay. Like she said, I was in Skills USA. I was competing in what they call Teamworks, in which it was me and 4 other guys on the team, and we went and competed in basically a construction project. They gave us a blueprint the day we got there. Out in Kansas City, we had a day to look over the print, draw up estimate what our materials are going to be and how we were going to attack the project, and then for 2 straight days they let us build it. And at the end of that, through that whole process, there were judges walking around looking at the specific parts. We had plumbing, we had electrical, we had masonry, we had carpentry, So a very well-rounded project. 2 days that we had to build it. Friday was tear down, and then Friday night they had the award ceremony in which through the training we had and our instructors over at BCTC and just the teamwork we put in, we placed first out of 46 teams.
Oh, that's great. Congratulations.
Even though Travis graduated last June, we're happy that he came back tonight just because we felt that this was really an honor for both him and for us as a school for him participating. So congratulations. And they have a certificate for you in the front, Travis. We wish you well.
Congratulations, Travis.
Nice job.
Next on our list tonight is Corey Samsel. Come on up, Corey. Corey was selected last spring to be recognized as Daniel Boone's Outstanding Young Woman. And if you aren't familiar with that, each October, early October, the girls meet in Kutztown High School, and there's a Bucks County competition. And they're judged on 5 categories. The judges interview, scholastic achievement, aerobics and fitness, performing arts, and presence and presentation. So I'm going to ask Corey to tell a little bit about her experiences and also what she did for her talent. So it's all yours.
Well, basically, to go to the final round, you have to pass a prelim round, which is pretty much the same 5 categories. And I competed against different girls from my school, and then from there we went on to the final round, which is a stage production. And like she said, there's 5 categories. My talent, I played the flute, which is my favorite thing to do. Overall, the experience for me was amazing. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I wouldn't have traded it for anything. The girls were outstanding, and I really connected with each and every one of them, and I'm so glad I had the experience, and I hope any other girl can have the same. So that's pretty much it.
Okay. And I think if you have been on the board for a couple of years, the words she used are exactly what we hear each year. Life-changing, amazing, I met so many new friends, I loved it, it was just a great experience, it was a way to start my senior year, and so I think Corey is just yet one more example of really represented us well and also has taken away a lot from the experience, so we're thrilled for that also. So congratulations.
Congratulations, Corey. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Moving on to, actually, before we move on, if anybody would like to take a minute to leave, you're more than welcome to do so. Otherwise, we're going to go through the rest of the agenda here and don't want to have anybody sit here who doesn't want to be here. So, and thank you again to all of our award winners. You guys did a great job. You can leave too if you like.
Sorry. No, this end of the room, you got to stay. A little different rule up here.
Maybe things will go faster. You never know. Okay, moving on with number 8, routine approvals. It's recommended the Board of Directors approve the minutes of the September 26th meeting and the October 10th Committee of the Whole. Have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, if we can get a roll call vote,
I have a
please.
first made by Mr. Shaheen, a second made by Mr. Potts. Roll call. Mr. Salmonaro?
Yes.
Mrs. Facette, yes. Mrs. Hartzell?
Yes.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Potts?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Shaheen?
Yes.
Ms. Twardowski?
Yes.
And Mr. Basil.
Yes.
Motion approved.
It's also recommended the Board of Directors accept the following financial reports. Do I have a motion to do that?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, if I could get a roll call vote for those.
I have a first made by Mr. Shaheen, a second made by Mr. Ross. Roll call. Mrs. Fasette, yes. Mrs. Hartzell?
Yes.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Potts?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Shaheen?
Yes.
Mr. Wadowski?
Yes.
Mr. Salmonaro?
Yes.
And Mr. Basil?
Yes.
Motion approved.
C, there's a recommendation for the Board of Directors to approve a payment of bills for October 2011.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Seeing none, can we get a roll call vote for that, please?
I have a first made by Mr. Shaheen, a second made by Mr. Potts. Roll call. Mrs. Hartzell?
Yes.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Potts?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Shaheen?
Yes.
Mr. Wadowski?
Yes.
Mr. Salmonaro?
Yes.
Mrs. Fasette, yes. And Mr. Basil?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Okay, presentations by board members. Do we have any correspondence?
I have none.
Okay. Berks County Intermediate Unit?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Basil. Our meeting was held last Thursday, October 20th. I believe everyone was emailed what happened at the BCIU meeting. Just hit on a few of the topics. I'd like to report that, firstly, that the BCIU will be hosting a virtual town meeting. The agenda of that meeting is making the grade, effective teaching in every classroom. This is a statewide video conferencing where the Pennsylvania Education Secretary, Ron Tumalis, will be present, speaking in reference to the impact of the multi-measure teaching evaluation process that will be a mandatory in effect for the 2012-2013 school year for all school districts, OTEC schools, intermediate units, etc. This meeting will be held at 7 p.m. at the BCIU Education Center, Center Avenue in Reading. And if anyone is interested, they can contact the IU secretary to attend. As far as board actions, we had several routine approvals. I'd just like to highlight on a few. We reviewed 14 initial budgets, 14 changes to initial budgets, and 31 transfers. We awarded 2 professional contracts for early intervention. We approved a position description for part-time age and studies specialists. We approved an agreement for the hearing impaired and for speech language therapy. We also approved an agreement for speech language therapy services. We ratified agreements to provide miscellaneous transportation services and approved the first readings on several of our policies, those being non-discrimination in employment and contract practices, weapons, terrorist threats, searches, physical exams of personnel, emergency preparedness, and intermediate unit visitors practices. And that's all I have.
Great, thank you very much. Any questions, Ms. Hartzell? Okay, BCTC?
Thank you, Mr. Basil. We did meet last month, and we went over, we kind of went over those strategic goals for the year. We did go over some statistics, and I found really kind of interesting, and a lot of this stuff is in your newsletter too, if you take a look at some of it, but only 2.5% of graduates are reporting that they're unemployed, that have graduated from BCTC. They do surveys of their graduates, and 41% of the students are employed full-time, 44% are in post-secondary education full-time. There's a couple percent that's in military or armed services, and there's some that are working part-time and going to school part-time, but only 2.5% are unemployed. And I think that's really great, especially in this economy. Also, they outline a couple of new programs. Next year, they're going to introduce a technology-based entrepreneurship program that will focus on IT and skills for those types of careers. This year, they introduced a mechatronics program that seems to be going well, and it's really a precursor to an engineering degree. And they've partnered with RAC and also Penn State, and The kids take their last year at the VOTEC at RAC. They take, I believe, 5 classes at RAC their senior year, and then they go into RAC for a year, and then they can transfer right into Penn State and finish up the 2 years, then another 2 years and get their bachelor's degree. So I think that's really neat because it's a way for the kids to get some of the college courses actually paid for at the high school level. And with college costs the way they are, I think that's a great bonus. So if anybody's interested, open house is November 2nd at the East Campus and November 3rd at the West, and they're 6 to 9. The other thing that we did take action on, other than routine approvals, is they did agree to purchase a property for $289,000. I had mentioned last month that they had looked at purchasing a property to do the CDL training site, and they did reach an agreement of sale with the property owners, and it is a pretty large macadam parking lot. I guess it was a restaurant that burned down, so they think that the work will be minimal, and they are looking at a 5-year payback. But they'd like to offer the CDL training to area residents. So I'll have more information on that once we get moving. But that's contingent upon zoning approvals and all that kind of stuff. And if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Any questions? Yeah, thank you. It's great. Okay, legislative report.
Just a couple of quick things. Actually heard one of the things on the way back in on the meeting today, that the casino that's going to go put in place down in Valley Forge, one of the members to the county board, legislators, put a rider on a bill in Harrisburg that they're going to try to get control of some of that gaming money locally. If that comes through, they had interviewed several people in different areas in different counties talking about if that happens, then they're going to potentially try to do the same thing with some of the casinos that are be put in some counties moving forward, and as well as the existing casinos. Right now, that money, all that gaming revenue, goes at the state level, and then it's divided out amongst the states. So the county can start grabbing some of that revenue. It may affect how much we actually end up getting reimbursement-wise. The counties can take it right off the top.
Maybe the Pagoda could be a good place for a new casino.
The voucher, we all did receive emails today on the legislative warning about an alert on the voucher system that's being pushed through right now, as well as Corbett's taking over of Harrisburg. May have some ramifications moving forward if he's going to be using state funds to help bail out Harrisburg. Moving forward next year, state funding may not be as readily available as for school districts and funding. We need to be aware of that when we start looking at budgets.
Okay.
They got a $300 million bailout coming. So
all right.
For their incinerator.
Weren't they supposed to sell off some of their assets, their parking garages
Well,
and
they
things like that?
haven't been able to decide on what they're going to do. The plan they keep putting forward doesn't make it out of the base. So Corbett passed a law, rushed through a law that allows him to do it, and then he took over. So if they're going to sell them off, he's going to, if they don't want to, he may just do it.
Okay. Any questions? All right, seeing any other reports?
For buildings and grounds, we will be having a meeting on November 7th at 7 o'clock at Monocacy Elementary Center. So I invite everyone to come to a fun-filled evening.
Okay. Great. Finance Committee will be meeting right before the Committee of the Whole, as we did last month, or this month. Revenue Enhancement is meeting.
Revenue Enhancement, we met. Our topics just primarily was on the Adopt a Program initiative and our concern or trouble getting that thing kick-started by not having an organization, if you will, that will take hold of it and get it moving off the ground. With some of the changes, we don't have that person in the school district to dedicate that time to do that. So we invited the PTC, we invited the Daniel Boone Education Foundation president, Mr. Peterson, to come to the meeting, which they did, and kind of talk through some ideas, and we're still in those talking stages of that. We hope at the next Revenue Enhancement Committee meeting, we will have a few guests. Dr. Otto, I don't know.
Yep, we're still working on that. Yep.
Okay.
Somebody who's familiar with.
Elaborate a little bit who they are.
Yeah, we a gentleman who works extensively with foundations, similar to a gentleman we had before. I have a call into him, and also Mrs. Twardowski had shared some information about a sports marketing group that might be able to help us to raise some money. So we're going to have them as guests at our next meeting.
That's good. Any other questions? All right. Buildings and grounds, we don't have anything to report there. Financial approvals. It's recommended the Board of Directors approve the attached course and credit request for tuition reimbursement, salary step, and advanced certification. Do I have a motion?
11A through E then?
11A through E.
Second. Second.
So who had the second?
I think it was
There were like three people. Okay.
We're fighting on it.
Any discussion? Seeing none, if we can get a roll call vote for...
I have a first made by Mr. Shaheen and a second made by Mr. Salmonero. Roll call. Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Potts?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Shaheen?
Yes.
Ms. Twardowski?
Yes.
Mr. Salmonero?
Yes.
Mrs. Fasette, yes. Mrs. Hartzell?
Yes.
And Mr. Basil?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Okay, moving on to number 12. We have some additions here. So under 12A1, we are going to add, under letter B, Brian Campbell, Director of Educational Technology, resignation effective October 26, 2011. Also under 12.2C2E, I have a note here. Is there an E?
No, that's extracurriculars.
12.2C.
We don't have a classified. I think we need to make one.
Well, no, this is something separate I got when we sat down. 12.2C2E. I'm just trying to figure out what that was.
In A, B, or C.
Yeah, but which?
12, a letter.
12 is the number. C.
Capital C.
Capital C. 2.
To extracurricular, E.
E.
We already have an E.
Lowercase e.
It's already there.
We
But we're
already
just
have an
making
E.
Okay, let me
correction
just...
to it.
We're making a correction to that one. Instead of David Downs, high school volunteers and volleyball coach, it's the basketball coach.
It's just a typo.
It's a typo there. And then we have some other additions. Under 12C5, A,
Well, we're adding a C.
we're adding a C5A. It will be Lori Bracken, Human Resource Assistant Payroll Clerk, Business Office, transfer to District Payroll Benefits Coordinator, 7.5 hours per day, 12 months at $19 per hour, replaces A. Stevens. I'll pass this to the secretary then, so she has this. B. Kathy McNeely, Amity Primary Center, Secretary to Principal, transfer to Level 3, Human Resource Assistant Payroll Clerk, Business Office, 7.5 hours per day, 254 days per year at $17.77 per hour, replaces L. Bracken. And C. Lisa Kiki, Amity Primary Center, Secretary to the Principal, Level 3, 7.5 hours per day, 254 days per year at $16.57 per hour, replaces K. McNeely. Okay.
To make that easy, let's do 12 inclusive of everything.
Okay, we have a nomination. Second.
So A through E.
Well, that's as far as we didn't add an F, so A through E.
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, can I get a roll call vote, please?
I have a first made by Mr. Shaheen, a second made by Mr. Ross, with all the additions as were noted.
Noted.
Roll call. Mr. Potts?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Shaheen?
Yes.
Ms. Twardowski?
Yes.
Mr. Salmonero?
Yes.
Mrs. Fasette, yes. Mrs. Hartzell?
Yes.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
And Mr. Basil?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Okay, moving on to 13 programs. Do I have a motion for
A through C.
A through C? Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, if we can get a roll call vote, please.
I have a first made by Mr. Shaheen, a second made by Mr. Potts. Roll call. Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Shaheen?
Yes.
Ms. Twardowski?
Yes.
Mr. Salmonero?
Yes.
Mrs. Fasette, yes. Mrs. Hartzell?
Yes.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Potts?
Yes.
And Mr. Basil?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Okay, moving on to number 14, policies. A, it's recommended the Board of Directors approve policy 526, classified employees complaint process.
14A through D.
A through D.
Second.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Okay. Surprisingly, okay.
Slow it, Andrew. Don't push it.
Yeah.
I'm not- if we can get a roll call vote, please, 14
I
A
have
through
a
D.
first made by Mr. Shaheen, a second made by Ms. Twardowski. Roll call. Mr. Shaheen?
Yes.
Ms. Twardowski?
Yes.
Mr. Salmonero?
Yes.
Mrs. Fasette, yes. Mrs. Hartzell?
Yes.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Potts?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
And Mr. Basil?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Moving on to E through H, we have first readings. Were there any comments from board members on these?
On H, the transportation, you're happy with that?
Yeah, actually, if you let me comment on that, I would be happy to. We met again with our transportation contractor, and as you saw in the first reading, we weren't real happy with the way it was worded, but we actually sat down with them, and they showed us the system that we can use. Mrs. Penza was part of the meeting, and there are actually ways to very, very specifically hone in on a metric that we can use. I actually, to be honest with you, even though it's not official, we've disqualified somebody that's
Okay.
that's
Hey,
come
just so
from
the public knows, it had to do with
safety ratings.
our safety rating. Our bus contractor came back to us and said that we were using, or potentially had the ability be using buses or busing companies, coaches, that may or may not pass safety ratings. They're part of the bid process, but if they don't win the bid, then, whomever goes out and gets buses for their club or activity, whatever else, could get a bus. And we had some concerns, so we asked our transportation partners to come up with some wording and help us to make sure that there is a National Transportation Safety Rating website that you can go to and look at how they rate those buses with safety and inspections and fines and everything else. And we set up a Transportation Committee recommended setting up a criteria that would disqualify some transportation people from transporting our students based upon not passing a certain criteria.
When we come back for our November committee of the whole, I'll actually bring a copy of what the page looks like so everybody can get an idea of. It is fairly easy to use. You just have to know where to go and find it.
Right.
But it's federal regulations. We're very comfortable with them, and I actually would like to thank our transportation contractor for coming forth. They really were not interested in trying to corner the market on the business because the way we wrote the policy, as you know, it says that it doesn't necessarily have to be them. Mm-hmm. But they did participate with us in trying to create a safer environment for all of our students, which is always a good thing. So we're very happy with the metric that we have. It's reliable. It's federally sanctioned by the Federal Department of Transportation. So we will, in the process, make sure that as those motor coaches are applied for, we'll just add a new line, and we'll need to know the name of the company. We'll take that, centralize that process. We will make the check in the central office, and if it's a go, then the company can go. If it's not, then they have to find somebody else.
And I'd recommend that you check that on an every basis.
It's annual.
I mean, well,
Each time what they're applied for. Correct.
I mean, you could pass it today and fail it tomorrow.
Correct. We will use the most updated information that we can get.
So you guys will be modifying the form that
Correct.
clubs and activities submit to the administration to
Yes.
include?
Yes. They'll have to give us the name of the contractor, which we never used to ask for those trips. We will now ask.
Great. Okay. Any other questions or comments? All right, great. Seeing none, we'll move on. Transportation?
No, same thing.
Nothing? Nothing? All right. Old business? Okay. Any new business? Do I need to bring up
I have two
the
items.
TSA?
Yeah. First item under new business would be, it is recommended that the Board of Directors approve the establishment of a Technology Ed Student Association at the Daniel Boone High School with the appointment of an advisor for the club for the 2011-2012 school year, contingent upon receipt of third-party funding for that club.
And that's only good for 1 year.
Correct.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? Okay, could we get a roll call vote, please?
Yes, you may. I have a first made by Mr. Shaheen, a second made by Mr. McCullough. Roll call, Ms. Twardowski?
Yes.
Mr. Salmonaro?
Yes.
Mrs. Fasette, yes. Mrs. Hartzell?
Yes.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Potts?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Shaheen?
Yes.
And Mr. Basil?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Okay, and item number 2.
Right, I have an additional item that I would request board action. It is recommended that the Board of Directors approve the settlement and release agreement as presented by the solicitor in settlement of the grievance previously filed by the Daniel Boone Federation of Support Staff, which approval would include all personnel actions encompassed in that settlement and release agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Who was the first one?
Any further discussion from the board? Okay, seeing none, could we get a roll call vote, please?
I have a first made by Mr. Shaheen, a second made by Mr. Potts. Roll call, Mr. Salmonaro?
Yes.
Mrs. Fasette, yes. Mrs. Hartzell?
Yes.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Potts?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Shaheen?
Yes.
Ms. Twardowski?
Yes.
And Mr. Basil?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Okay, any other new business?
Yeah, I would just like to thank Mr. Gross and the teachers for trick-or-treat night. How many students went through? How many children?
700 plus.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
It's a great turnout.
Is there any candy left? Very small.
It's all over in the AIC art room, I think.
The Gross Homestead,
No.
next a couple Mondays from now.
Yeah.
Yeah, great success then. Thanks for doing it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And I had one item of business. Looking ahead at my calendar, there's a chance I won't be making the voting meeting in November
Okay.
because of personal commitments. And
Do you want
so I'm going to resign as secretary effective tomorrow. So
Okay.
Effective, what would it be, November 25th?
25th,
Right.
2011.
No, October 25th.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Okay, we'll appoint a secretary for your next meeting.
Actually, then if that's so, that we could take nominations now, could we not?
You could vote that at the committee of the
When I
whole
was
as well.
approved, I was approved up through
There's some things
end of
about-
June 2013. Being that you're going to be reorganizing, it might behoove the board to approve somebody now because that will be
Right.
an easier transition process in December.
Right, and this would just be for the term through
It'd be
the end
My
of this
remaining
year.
term up to
Right.
June of 2013. We were approved that last January.
Correct.
I'd like to nominate Mr. McCullough then. I mean, he's got, we need somebody with board experience, I think,
Correct.
to go, and he can work with Mrs. Fasette.
Second.
You've been volunteered, Mr. McCullough. Do you accept the volunteer
Yes,
position?
I
Okay.
volunteer.
Take one step back.
I think you do.
You'll have to-
Yeah, in light of that, if everybody, whatever the outcome, I mean, if the outcome is successful, then I return my resign as vice president right away. I have to. I can't hold two
Oh,
offices
man,
at one
is he,
time.
Vice President?
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
vice president.
Does he have to resign as vice president first?
For whatever.
Oh, no, I mean,
Wow.
My dilemma, me?
I know, I muddy the waters,
Here's the
but
dilemma, Ryan.
well, I mean, it would be, he would accept the appointment,
Pending, again,
and in conjunction with,
I would resign
resign
immediately
as
from vice president, yes. If the outcome is positive, yes.
And you should vote on that, too. Vote on his appointment as secretary, and
Right.
acceptance,
Well,
acceptance
you
of
have to
Margaret's.
close the nominations.
Give the close the nomination.
Well, yes, you can. If there's,
Did anybody do that?
Anybody else?
Close.
Second.
Okay.
Mr. Secretary.
Now you know why we're doing it at the committee of the whole when Brian's
Okay.
here.
To make sure we get it right.
Now, do we have to accept her resignation?
I would have a vote to accept Ms. Fassette's resignation.
Make a
And
motion to vote to accept Mrs. Fasette's resignation.
Second.
Okay, let's vote on that one first.
And we can do that by aye or nay, right?
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
Nay.
Ayes have it.
Always gotta be.
So do you turn it over before?
And
All right, move, Margaret.
Okay.
Okay, next one is the nomination for Mr. McCullough to be secretary.
Right, we had a nomination by Mr. Shaheen for Mr. McCullough to be secretary. Pending the outcome of that, Mr. McCullough will resign as vice president, and motion was closed by Mr. Shaheen and Tamara, and Ms. Tradowski.
Who seconded?
You don't need a motion, you don't need a second on a nomination, you only need a second to close.
Okay, could we get a vote?
Do we have to vote on the close?
Well, I mean, it's the
All in
motion to
favor to
close
close?
and appoint based
Right.
on, there's no other
There's no
nomination.
further, okay, so this motion is to appoint Mr. McCullough as secretary. Okay, roll call. Mrs. Fasette, yes. Mrs. Hartzell?
Yes.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Potts?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Shaheen?
Yes.
Ms. Tradowski?
Yes.
Mr. Salmonero?
Yes.
And Mr. Basil?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Mr. Secretary.
So now we do one
You're
for
appointing a vice president.
So you
Nomination
accept my
for vice
resignation.
president.
They have to accept his resignation.
Well, accept his resignation.
Correct.
Well, that was,
It was
It's already
all
done.
part of the
Right.
one.
Then we need a nomination for
Right.
vice president. I nominate Mr. Shaheen.
Second.
Motion to close.
There you go.
And who was the second on the close?
Mr. Potts.
I guess we got to change the website.
Sorry, but
No, we're not. We'll change the website. It's easy.
my daughter turns 21.
That's
I'm
a
gonna
good
be a
one.
little- Okay, so I had a motion made by Mr. McCullough to nominate Mr. Shaheen as vice president, closed by Ms. Twadowski, and second by Mr. Potts. Okay, roll call on this. Mrs. Hartzell?
Yes.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Potts?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Shaheen?
Yes.
Ms. Twadowski?
Yes.
Mr. Salmonero?
Yes.
Mrs. Fasette, yes, and Mr. Basil?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Those days.
Now I
Mr.
have
Vice
one
President.
other item of business. Considering what we just did, and also because of reorganization, I think we need to make a motion to approve the use of the signature plates until,
until you,
because would you be,
Correct.
I mean, normally,
Yeah.
because in December we reorganize and we still have a change in people and we approve the use of the signature plates. So we're just doing it 2 months earlier, but I didn't know like when.
well, we
The
should
wording
do
was-
it since there's been this change
Yeah.
in
Right.
officers.
And we have to post a bond, too.
Or approve the use of the current signature
No,
plates
that's
until,
Can you
The treasurer's
Margaret is too.
Oh, is she?
Secretary.
yeah,
I might be able
that's
to
why
get
we need the
her
signature
switched
plates.
to-
Okay.
It's president and, but what would it be the ending time? Like what, how do we usually do that in December?
Well,
Until,
the secretary would be
It's as
for the
soon
remaining
as,
term
it's
until
until as
2013,
soon as we
right?
can get all the signatures and get everything turned over.
but you're gonna have another president in
Yeah, but
December
even within
possibly.
30 days,
So can
I
you,
mean-
is there
No,
a
that's what
time
I'm
limit?
saying, can we,
Can it
can
be
we
like for
approve it?
3 months?
Can you leave it
So,
alone for a month?
for the cost?
I would approve it until the
Re-election.
reorganization of the board in December.
Leave everything status
So you
quo.
need a
And then
motion
you'll
to
just do the same thing.
to
Okay.
have
So
the
everything
signature
just
plates
changed from
remain
right
as is until the reorganization.
Right.
Right,
Maybe, yeah, why go through all that?
and I'm making that motion.
I'll second that.
I mean,
I think I kind of all those.
You did it well.
Any discussion?
Let's do a
Roll
roll
call.
call vote.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Potts?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Shaheen?
Yes.
Ms. Twardowski?
Yes.
Mr. Salmonero?
Yes.
Mrs. Fasette, yes. Mrs. Hartzell?
Yes.
And Mr. Basil?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Any other exciting news?
It's all on tape.
Okay, just wanted to check. Any other new business? Presentations by the public on issues.
Shane Cockle, 830 Guyvertown Road. I'd like to know how you determine when you're going to have a Mars event that you'll need the extra parking of the church and the swimming pool.
How is it determined that when we have a large event, we'll need extra parking?
Who makes the decision and how? What kind of calculations do you use to determine, well, this is going to be a large event, we should get the extra parking? And how much does that extra parking for the buses run for that night?
I don't have the answer to
We
that
have
question
to
right
have
now.
to research that. As far as the decision, it's a collaborative decision with the athletic director, the other schools, knowing what they might bring. They try to give us advance notice whenever that may happen. And that's pretty much it. It's not.
Can I just add something though? From going to games, because of our agreement, there is always a bus at the pool
Correct.
parking lot,
Correct.
which is our first overflow lot. And I think if it's at the end of the first quarter or the first half, if nobody is using that, then the buses are dismissed. But we have buses in place because we have to.
Correct.
It was part of our
That's
agreement
correct.
with Union
That's what I
Township.
said.
And we actually calculated a cost for that. I just don't have it in front of me.
I think Mrs. says right. There's a bus there every time till at least halfway through the second quarter or
Yeah,
the
it's
first
like-
quarter, and if it's felt it's not necessary, they're dismissed.
And no one knows what the cost is for it?
Well, there's a
No,
cost
not
for
my
it,
head.
Shane, but, you're asking
Yes,
me to
we did compute
rattle
it.
it off right off the top of my head. I don't know what it is. We did that, a year ago when we were negotiating the agreement with the church and the people who own the pool facility.
It's not mine.
So-
That was part of public record.
Certainly,
It's out
that's
there.
why it's itemized on the bill, those kind of things are itemized on the bill from the bus company, so.
Yeah, we have it. I just don't have it here right now.
That's why they're dismissed.
And it comes out of the game receipts, I think.
Okay,
So we can email that to you, or we can discuss it at the next board meeting as well.
okay, thank you.
Okay?
Since you're going to be recording the meeting, is that going to be on the website? Is that going to be able to listen to it then?
My understanding right now is the recordings are not on the website. The approved minutes are. So the written minutes right now are on the are what's being published on the website. We haven't decided quite yet as a board how we're publishing the recorded minutes from the board meetings as of yet.
I know there was a lot of discussion about getting it on the website.
Yeah,
We're
still-
working on that. We're still
We're
working on
in that
that.
direction.
Concern, what is the official version?
Okay. And you had said about the casinos possibly getting some money. It's a shame our state can't take a lesson from Virginia, I think also south of Carolina. But I know Virginia does. Their state lottery handles all their school tax. Nobody gets to pay school tax in Virginia.
It's good to know. Okay. Any other questions or comments from the public? Okay, seeing none, this meeting
Second.
is adjourned. Thank you.